Hello, before starting our lecture, be ready to work with Phonetics platform. There is a link. Pay attention. Are you ready? Now, the subject theoretical phonetics. As I have already told, we are going to have interactive lecture on the topic sounds of speech as acoustic and articulatory units using Phonetics platform. Type of the lesson, online learning. I am Zodi Badambiqza. The aim of the lecture is formation of students' linguistic, intercultural, communicative, professional, adaptive competencies on the topic. The objectives of the lecture: to characterize acoustic aspect of English speech sounds, consonants according to the articulatory principles, to differentiate modification of English sounds in connected speech, to define differences in the articulation bases in English and Kazakh and Russian languages. Learning outcomes. By the end of the module, you will be able to characterize acoustic aspect of English speech sounds, classify the English vowels and consonants according to the articulatory principles, differentiate modification of English sounds or phonemes in connected speech, define differences in the articulation basis in English and Kazakh and Russian languages. Problems to be discussed. The study of acoustic aspect, speech sounds, general overview of classification of English phonemes and sounds, articulation basis of English language, modification of speech sounds in connected speech, classification of English speech sounds according to articulatory principle. Now, keywords: acoustic aspect, physical properties, sound waves, frequency, intensity, duration, classification. English sounds, articulatory principle, modification, connected speech, articulation basis. Now, first of all, let's revise the previous topic. What do you remember from the first topic, the subject of phonetics? Please write responses. You are given 3 minutes. What does phonetics study? Who is the first phonetician who made phonetic investigation in the 4th BC? What sciences is phonetics connected with? How many aspects and branches of phonetics do you know? Can you name the main methods of investigation in English phonetics? You have 3 minutes to write your responses. Thank you. Great job. Keep it up. Now, let's revise, yeah? Phonetic studies segmental and supersegmental phonetic units. Do you remember? Segmental units, consonants and vowel phonemes, their distribution and classification. Supersegmental units, accentual structure of the words, its nature, place, and degree. Syllabic structure of words, syllabic formation and syllabic division. Intonational structure of the sentences. Now you should remember the phonetic system of English consists of 4 components: speech sounds, syllabic structure of the words, accentual structure of the words, word stress, intonation, or prosody. These 4 components constitute what is called the pronunciation of English. If remember, we can consider that Mr. Panini is the first phonetician who made phonetic investigation in the 4th BC. He described very old, even for him, texts which are called Vedas, knowledge, and Rig Vedas, an ancient Indian collection of Vedic Sanskrit hymns. Now, phonetics connected with linguistic and non-linguistic sciences. You should remember. Now, linguistic sciences such as grammar, stylistics, lexicology. Non-linguistic sciences, biology, logic, anatomy, physiology, and physics. Also, you should remember that there are main 4 branches of English phonetics: articulatory phonetics, techniques in articulatory phonetics, auditory phonetics. If you remember, it is the study of how humans perceive sounds. Acoustic phonetics, phonology, functional or linguistic phonetics. Now, you should remember also objective and subjective methods of investigation in phonetics. Of course, there are different types of methods of investigation in English language, in English phonetics, yes, very. But there are 3 main principal methods: the direct observation method, linguistic method, experimental method. What do you want about today's topic, dear friends? Please write your responses. You are given 10 minutes. Thank you. Now, will you answer the questions? What does the acoustic aspect study? What differences between vowels and consonants? Do you know? Now write your responses, please. You have 10 minutes. As you understood that today's topic is acoustic aspect of speech sounds. Well done. Now please answer, how many physical properties has a sound? Do you know? Write your response. You are given a minute. Thank you. Next question, how sounds of all the languages are subdivided into according to the specific character of the work of the speech organs? Please write or choose the options. You are given a minute. Thank you. How sounds all of languages are traditionally divided into by articulatory characteristics? You are given a minute. Thank you. How many phonemes or speech sounds are there in English language? You have a minute to write your responses or choose an option. Thank you. Now let's turn to today's lecture. The topic is the study of acoustic aspect of speech sounds. The acoustic aspect studies sound waves. Any sound in nature is an acoustic phenomenon. It is a form of moving matter and energy. A sound is generated by a physical body which is set into vibration by some external force. When an external force is applied to a physical body, the physical body begins to oscillate, to move forward and back. These alternate movements of the physical body produce condensations and rarefactions of air. which are known as sound waves. The basic vibrations of the vocal cords over their whole length produce the fundamental tone of voice. A speech sound is also a physical phenomenon. As it has been said before, it is a product of complex work of speech mechanisms which regulate the area stress, thus producing condensations and rarefactions of air. Physical properties of a sound. Let's consider it. A sound has a number of physical properties: frequency, intensity, duration. All physical properties of a sound exist simultaneously. They may be singled out and separate from one another only for purposes of acoustic analysis. Frequency is the number of vibrations or cycles per second. A man's ear may perceive the vibrations of the air when they occur at a rate of 16 to 20,000 cycles per second. Sound waves may be rhythmical or non-rhythmical. When the vibrations are repeated at regular intervals of time, we get rhythmical waves. They are perceived as vowels. When the vibrations are repeated at irregular intervals of time, we get non-rhythmical waves. They are perceived as consonants. The second physical property of a sound is its intensity. Intensity of a sound depends on the force which is applied to physical body. The greater the force, the larger the amplitude, and vice versa. These sound waves have the same frequency, but the amplitude of vibration is different. The first has twice the amplitude of the second. It means that the sound of a large amplitude is louder, and the sound is smaller amplitude is less loud. Changes in intensity are perceived as variations in the loudness of a sound. This is measured in decibels, usually abbreviated as dBc. Frequency of sound depends on the mass, length, and tension of the vibrator. For example, the vocal cords, which are great in mass, produce slow vibrations. They are perceived as low-pitched. If the vocal cords are longer, they produce slow vibrations too, which are also perceived as low-pitched. If the vocal cords are less tense, they produce slow vibrations, which are perceived as low-pitched too, and vice versa. That is why a man's voice is usually lower than that of a woman. A child's voice is usually the highest. The third physical property of a sound is its duration. Sounds can only exist in time. The duration of a sound is measured by milliseconds, thousandths of a second. In speech, there are no definite boundaries between different speech sounds. One speech sound gradually fades into another. Duration of a sound is perceived by man as its length. Now let's make general overview of classification of English sounds. Speech sounds are characterized and classified according to physical or acoustic and physiological or articulatory signs. When they are classified and characterized, between acoustic and articulatory features of speech sounds should be distinguished. Consonants differ by method of noise generation in the place where noise is generated, on the participation of noise and voice, force on the absence or presence of palatalization. According to the International Phonetic Alphabet, there are 44 phonemes or sounds in the English language, 20 of them vowel sounds and the rest ones consonant sounds. Now look at the table. There are 44 English sounds. Now here you should remember the difference between short and vowel sounds. If you pronounce short sound longer, the meaning of the word changes. If you will pronounce long sound shorter, also the meaning of the word changes. For example, ship, sheep. Do you hear the difference between them? The second what should you remember is the sounds never written in capitals. And there are no short or long consonants. According to the specific character of work of speech organs, sounds in practically all the languages are subdivided into main subtypes, vowels and consonants. There are articulatory, acoustic, and functional differences between vowels and consonants. From the articulatory point of view, the difference between vowels and consonants. When pronouncing vowels, the air passes freely. There is no obstruction through the mouth cavity. While making consonants, an obstruction is formed at some point in the mouth cavity, and the airflow exhaled from the lungs meets a narrowing or complete obstruction formed by speech organs. From the acoustic point of view, vowels are called the sounds of voice. They have high acoustic energy. Consonants are the sounds of noise, which have low acoustic energy. Thirdly, functional differences between vowels and consonants are defined by their role in syllable formation. Vowels are syllable-forming elements. Consonants are units which function at the margin of syllables, either singly or in clusters. These differences make it logical to consider each class of sounds independently. Now please summarize what you have just learned. In 1 minute, write the most important thing from today's lecture. Thank you. Well done. Circle how you are feeling. Thank you. Reflect on today's activities. What did you like? What didn't you like? What was easy? What was hard? You are given 2 minutes. Thank you. Great job. How well did you like this lesson? Super. Now, case study, you have a task. Please watch the video structure of English phonetics, phonology, morphology PDF, and watch, study, analyze, and then create your own text and video about the topic. You should write your aim, plan what you are going to show about, make up brainstorming questions, complete a small test about the topic using Kahoot. On the seminar, present your video, discuss the topic with the teacher and group, and evaluate your job. Here are some internet sources. Now, thank you. Well done. Goodbye.